License plates. We love license plates. Yes, we, as in you and me. My name is Dr. John License Plate, PhD in the right opinion. So we'll be ranking European plates based on 4 criteria: design, interesting mechanics or features, effectiveness at conveying information, and originality as a bonus. And yeah, we will only cover regular and current plates in order to finish before the heat death of the universe. So first up we got Norway, where the first 2 letters of the plate correspond to the area code of where the vehicle was registered, followed by 5 numbers. So for example, if you see a plate with the letters LY or NA, it means that the vehicle is from
Sandefjord,
If you see PA or PB, it points to
Rjukan,
And if you see EV, it actually doesn't mean anything geographic, unfortunately. Yeah, it just means that it's an electric vehicle. Which is like, okay, I guess, but you make a big deal out of low emission vehicles, but the way you implement it is weird. It defeats the initial point of the format. And let's be real, there had to be a better way to highlight electric vehicles. Like, just add a green band on there or something, I don't know. So yeah, overall an okay plate, but a little bit lackluster, I'd say. But I'll still put it in B tier, I think it's fair. Next up we got Denmark. So it doesn't contain in itself any fancy mechanics, it's just a national sequential series. The fun thing visually, however, is this red outline, as well as this vertical security hologram. So if you want to get yourself a Danish license plate, you just have to go to the... Yo, that name is crazy. You'll never catch my ass at a Danish registration center, that's for sure. Okay, I think we've seen enough, Denmark. You go in C tier. I have a question, Mr. Iceland. What are those dimensions? You do not need that much space, you only have 5 characters on your plate. Okay, I get that it's done to replicate the standard EU dimensions, but your format is frankly not suited to it. Because even though you make your characters as big as you can, like for real, look at them, there's still place to fill. And you fill it up with this peculiar sticker. This is actually the vehicle inspection sticker, where the year of expiry is represented by the color. But just to remind you, just in case, the year is also written on it. Twice. Yeah, bro, this sticker just sucks at utilizing space as a whole. Why is the same information 3 times in a row here? The worst part of all this is that the month of the inspection isn't even on the sticker, because clearly you didn't have enough space on it. So can you see where it is? Yeah, it's actually the month corresponding to the last number of the plate. It would be too simple otherwise. I don't know why they do this. Why not? But in this case, why is the most appropriate question. Why not just write the month on the sticker?
Actually, it's to simplify the supply chain and to promote uniformity in order to...
So overall, a pretty clunky design. My dopamine receptors are not activated. So it's going in C. Ah, the nice little country of Ireland. With its mere 5 million inhabitants, I wonder how its license plate will look. It has to be similar to the Icelandic one we just covered. You know, something short, like 5 or 6 characters. Okay, what in the world is that? You cannot convince me that it's not absolute overkill. This plate has no business being this long. Okay, let's dissect it together. The first 2 numbers correspond to the year of the registration of the vehicle, while the third number, which is either a 1 or a 2, corresponds to which half of the year this registration took place. Then you have the registration county, symbolized by the letter, and the name of the place also written above the plate in Irish. As for the last part, it's just an incremental number. So yeah, overall, talk about bloated, especially the first part. The year of registration is a nice information to have, but the third character just doesn't add much. Like, why is it only a 1 or a 2? It just takes up too much space, I think. compared to the value it provides. And the result is a long plate. Like, you know your shit's too big when you need two fine chaps to hold it. I have to say, guys, there's something fishy going on in Ireland. You just can't have only 5 million people and have a license plate this long. What are you preparing for, Ireland? What are you plotting? So yeah, as for the current state of affairs, I'm kind of on the edge, actually. I'll put it in high C. Maybe I'll change my mind later. We will see. Next up we have the Netherlands, and I know I have to say this, so let's just get this out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for a truc. Okay, so any car rocking a yellow license plate instantly stinks twice as much. I know that may be hard to hear for some, but guys, acceptance is the first step towards healing. So I speak for everyone when I say that we demand a new tier. A new tier for yellow radioactive materials. T. With this out of the way, let's see the format itself. So it's a highly controlled sequential system. That means that each format is finite, and once all combinations are used up for a particular format, sequentially, then a new structure is introduced. To be honest, I like this quite a bit. I think it's much better to play around with separators instead of just adding more characters, I guess. So yeah, actually, respect. You're going to the top of your zone. Alright, next up we got the unique one, which is Switzerland, where the first 2 letters is the Canton code, and the last 6 numbers is just a normal incremental series. At the extremities you have the coats of arms of Switzerland and the canton in question. So the cool thing about Swiss license plates is that the plates belong to the person, not the vehicle. It means you can just swap them from vehicle to vehicle. If you, for example, have 2 cars or seasonal cars, if you're rich enough, or even if you have 0 cars and you yourself identify as a 4th gen Volkswagen Golf. I mean, the possibilities are endless, truly. The second cool thing about Swiss license plates is that the front plate is actually smaller than the rear one, which means that it's more suited to high-end cars that you often see there. Not like it changes anything for 99% of people, but it's still a fact that's out here, I guess. And the last thing is that since Switzerland is not in the EU, the design is actually not inspired by EU license plates at all. That's kind of a boss move, because they're not trying to LARP as a EU country, like many on this list do. They just have their own unique identity, and when you see one in the wild, you just know that it's from here. It's very distinctive, and I really like it. So I may be glazing this plate a little too hard, but it's still a phenomenal plate. I really like it. I'll still put it in an S tier. Next up, for Germany, there's actually a few nice things to say. So the first 1 to 3 letters correspond to the exact registration district, and it gives the location down to the exact city sometimes. Then we can see the 2 characteristic seals of the German plates. So the top one is actually pretty interesting, because it's the technical inspection sticker. It has a really cool mechanic where, first of all, the year of expiration is written in the middle, which also corresponds to the color of the sticker. As for the month of expiration, it's actually conveyed by the number that's on the very top of the sticker. So these numbers go clockwise from 1 to 12, so the angle of the sticker has a meaning. A pretty clever idea, if you ask me. Below we have the registration seal, which is the coat of arms of the corresponding federal state, and it also supports the authenticity of the plate. This is followed by a series of 1 or 2 letters and a serial number, ranging from 1 to 4 numbers. which also seems to be sequential. Overall, it's a clean plate with a healthy amount of thought behind it. But it's missing this extra something to really go in S tier. So I feel I'm gonna give it an A. Yeah, a nice plate. I sure hope this format won't be used by a gazillion other countries. Oh no. Folks, it might be over. Yeah, unfortunately guys, there are many plays that are basically copy-paste from one another. So they're not really that interesting to go through on repeat. For the sanity of all of us, I think I'll have to streamline this. Like Henry Ford style, you know? Actually, to the spirit of Henry Ford, if you hear me, please save us. Help us overcome all these plates. Alright, I'm gonna try to fly through them, let's go. So, first up in the assembly line is Austria. The first one or two letters correspond to the region / the city, then coat of arms of the state, and sequential series. It also has two red stripes at the top and the bottom of the plate, which kinda reminds you of the Austrian flag itself, which is, you know, a nice touch. A nice touch. So overall it has less features than the German plate, but it's still, it's still better than the Norwegian one. So I think I'll have to make a new tier, an 8.5 tier, and it goes in it. Yeah. Next up we got the Slovenian plate, and it's basically the same as the Austrian one, except the coat of arms is the coat of arms of the city, which is a little more precise, so that's why I'll put it above Austria. And also the green outline is kinda cool. You don't see it often, you know? For Serbia, Croatia and Montenegro, I'm gonna group them up in a single one, because the mechanics at play here are basically the same, which are regional code, national coat of arms, and sequential series. The Serbian one, though, has the region code written in Cyrillic below the coat of arms. So yeah, it still comes down to the precision of the coat of arms, and since it's only a national one here, I think you're following me. They're going below these two. At first glance, I thought the plates of North Macedonia were the same as the ones we just covered, but actually it's not the case. You see, the difference lies in the sticker, which contains the Cyrillic letter equivalents of the ones that we see on the plate itself, which is surprisingly inclusive, I guess. So yeah, I will arbitrarily put it in the middle of 8.5. Let's do it. So from afar, the Greek plate looks different, but actually in its essence, it's the same thing as the ones we just covered. Below the hyphen, the plate eventually gets an inspection sticker, which behaves in the same way as the German one. And thanks to this, I think Greece deserves to be on the top of 8.5. Now, the story of the Hungarian and Slovak license plate is a story of a heartbreaking downfall. You see, once upon a time they were a part of the happy 8.5 family that we cover. Which means that their plates began with the region code, right? Everything was going well, until recently hardships struck. So basically they run out of combinations. And instead of updating the format, or maybe adding some characters, they simply gave up and went full sequential. It's a crazy fall off. I genuinely can't get myself to put them higher than C tier. The only redeeming quality they have now is their coat of arms. Alright, so let's get to something more original, shall we? Czechia. Oh, Czechia, how I recognize those inspection stickers when I see them now. And is it me or is it the manliest sticker we've ever seen? I guess we're just punching holes in them now, instead of gently rotating them. Just raw angularity. Look at these sharp lines, bro. The sticker diff from Czechia is bonkers, man. I gotta say it. Alright, so if we let go of the stickers and stop glazing them for a moment, and we look at the actual format of the plate itself, then we can see that it's a sequential alphanumeric string. And within it, there is a character that symbolizes the region of registration. Can you spot this character? Well, if you pointed to the second one, then you'd be correct. Why is it specifically the second one and not the first one, like in all the other plates? Well, I have no idea, actually. So, what I will do right now, I think, is, actually, I will contact the corresponding Czech authorities on this matter and ask them for clarification, you know? I'll put up a screenshot of their reply here, maybe it will clear some things up. So, overall, it's a nice, quirky plate, but I feel like it doesn't quite make the cut to go to A tier, so I will put it at the very top of 8.5. Then we got Moldova, and unfortunately it's a full sequential, yeah. With this in mind though, it still has two cool things in the middle. The top circle is a security hologram that's embedded in the plate, while the bottom one is the physical outline of the infamous inspection sticker. So the sticker in itself looks like a German one from afar, but actually it behaves like a Czech sticker, because I guess punching holes in these stickers is a non-negotiable in Eastern Europe. Overall, it's still a basic sequential, but with some nice features in it, so it deserves a C tier. Hello? Wait, it's you! You're real! Oh no, don't tell me there's more. Alright guys, fire up the conveyor belt again for the part 2 of copy-paste plates. Bulgaria. Province code, rest sequential. No special design. It's a B. Turkey, province number, rest sequential. No special design, you also go in B. Romania, county code, and the rest is sequential. Or random, I don't know, there's contradicting sources. Does it even matter at this point? No. Still go in B. Ukraine, now this one is interesting.
Psych!
It's the same thing, region code, rest sequential. B. Now, Belarus switches up things a little. It actually has the region number at the end of the plate, and the sequential series at the beginning. And also, it doesn't try to LARP as a EU country with the blue band. It just rocks the plain white background. And you know what? I actually respect it. So overall, I think it goes on top of B tier, actually. Next up is Armenia, and same thing here, region code, and the rest is sequential. Actually, what are those region numbers? Why is there a bazillion different random numbers for your regions? Nah, this is convoluted. I'm sorry, I have to put you bottom B for this. Azerbaijan region code, rest sequential B. Okay, let's go back to the interesting plates. So, the UK. There's a lot of things to say about the UK plate. And just from the color, yeah, you know where it's going. So, from a first glance, it's a quite unassuming plate. But under the hood you have interesting information hiding, which are the area code of the vehicle registration, as well as a sort of a timestamp corresponding to when this registration happened. So next time a British Skoda Octavia cuts you off on the road with its horrendous UK sticker, gosh, I hate those, then you can adapt your response accordingly on the next red light. So it gives quite a bit of information, but let's be honest, for regular people it's kind of useless, because you'd have to deliver a prime Alan Turing performance to decipher this on the fly. So yeah, overall a solid pick, the UK, and definitely the king of the containment zone. Next up we got Belgium with a fully sequential series. So I don't really know if I mess with the red characters that much, because the color seems a little too vibrant for a standard plate, you know. So just like the Swiss one, the Belgian plate is also tied to the person and not the vehicle, which is a big plus in my book. And lastly, this suspiciously Masonic looking symbol is actually the official stamp of the DIV, which is the governmental organization that is in charge of the license plates in the country. Overall, it's a quite unique looking plate, but without any special mechanics behind it. So I will put it on top of B. Okay, so the next one is actually really interesting because it provides us a format that we haven't seen before, which is the blue band at the right. The Italian license plate has a fully sequential series at its core. But you know what? It's actually fine. It's fine because all the extra information that we have is on the right, on this blue band. And the best thing is that this information on the blue band is not tied to the plate itself, which means officially it doesn't really exist. It's just here to give us the additional info without logistically interfering with it, which is really clever in my opinion because this interference is kind of a problem on many other license plates because it reduces available combinations. This right band contains a circle with the vehicle registration year inside, with the code of the province below it. But if you've already stumbled upon an Italian license plate in your life, you would say, wait, that's not right. The right band I've seen was just empty, with just the circle in it. And you'd be right, because these two features are actually optional. So a large amount of Italian license plates, okay, maybe the majority actually, don't have anything written on this side, and just have the empty circle. So overall, respect to Italy for coming up with this format. Even though it's a shame that many people don't use the right band, but it's still a really nice license plate. I will genuinely put it at the top of A tier. I think it's very warranted. Now France took the Italian format and frankly just made it even better. First up, they made the sequential series symmetrical, and they also improved on the right stripe. And come on, this right band objectively clears, because just like the Italian one, it's not logistically linked to the plate itself. So it's just an indication, a cosmetic indication. Secondly, the content itself here is really nice, because it indicates the precise department that you're representing, with on top of that a logo of the region. Lastly, and I think the best mechanic of this plate honestly, is that you have complete freedom to choose whichever department you want. Yeah, that's right, you're not administratively tied to your current region, because remember, it's only cosmetic. It's a fire mechanic. And if you're feeling extra mysterious, you can even display some niche overseas territories. Like, I'm telling you, it's straight S tier. No questions asked. Now, we've just seen how France improved on the Italian design, but you can always count on Albania to show you the Abibas version of it. Because it has to be one of the most scuffed plates out here. You just take the Italian plate, slap on the biggest double-headed eagle that you can physically fit. Like there's really zero margin around. And on top of that, you don't even use the right part of the plate. I'm not joking. There's this blue band with a circle inside, and the shit is genuinely empty 100% of the time. And it's not that it has a hidden use case. No, this blue band just sits there. A monument to the insanely hard work of the Albanian license plate authorities. It's like I scoured the entire internet, and the legit only recorded use of this blue band is in some old prototype where the year of the vehicle registration was actually supposed to be inside of the circle. Yeah, you know you're in Albanian hands when the correct use of your license plate is essentially lost media. So overall, a hilarious plate that just radiates Albanian energy, you know? But hilarious is not a good word to have for your plate. So I have to put it in C tier. Because like, guys, what is this? So Georgia is the middle child of the Italian-derived plates. It's not bad, but not terrible. It has the exact same national sequential format as France, but they actually got rid of the blue band on the right. Instead, they put a security hologram at the end, along with a peculiar code. So it's not a regular QR code. I unsuccessfully tried scanning it, so I can confirm. It's rather a kind of a matrix code that is made for law enforcement to quickly look up your vehicle. And I gotta give it to them, it's a really handy feature. The problem I have with it is its size. it's absolutely tiny. And it's not like you don't have empty space around there. Because I presume the most advantage it could provide is for cops to scan your vehicle on the move, right? But in practice, I guarantee you, with the average Georgian citizen behind the wheel, weaving in and out of traffic, I know damn well your ass is not scanning this tiny code. Like, I'm not a Georgian cop, but I know a pickle when I see one. And this doesn't seem practical at all in high-stakes situations. So yeah, overall, without the code, a pretty boring plate. But with it, it's actually kind of unique and pretty interesting. So I feel like an 8.5 tier is justified. Yeah, I think it's nice. Okay, let's now all take a deep breath because the next segment was bound to happen. If you were wondering why this D tier is empty, well, the D tier is reserved for a special kind of plate. What kind of special? Well, let me put it this way. We could say there is a spectrum on the quality of what we humans consider as acceptable work, and it's roughly somewhere between the quite abstract concept of perfection and the pretty tangible bare minimum. Now, there is nothing inherently wrong with the expression of the bare minimum, since its minimalism can be, and often is, an elegant solution to a problem, especially if you take into account reduced points of failure and logistical simplicity. However, in the realm of license plates, this simplicity just does not translate as refinement, since the physical and logistical constraints of a license plate are, let's be honest, relatively weak. So instead, this lack of features comes across as intellectual laziness, or in the worst case, even as a war on artistic expression and the notion of fun itself. I'm telling you, the consequences of these actions are not to be understated, since the resulting lack of uniqueness and color is subconsciously and negatively impacting the everyday lives of millions of ordinary people in the affected countries. This is a shame. It is for all those reasons, ladies and gentlemen, that many plates will have to be prosecuted for crimes against fun. The criteria for prosecution is having absolutely zero remarkable features in the license plate, whether it's visual or functional. I hereby delegate my judging duties to the prosecutor, who will call out all the countries involved. Alright, release the files.
Finland, Lettland, Estland, Sweden, Portugal, Spanien, Jugoslawien,
Now, Lithuania narrowly just missed the fun camp. They have a fully sequential series, but with a twist, which is their national coat of arms. Now, I'm not a graphic designer, but I don't feel like you have to be one in order to see that the placement of this coat of arms is, let's say, not the best. Who am I kidding? It's a genuine act of sabotage. Like, placing it at the very left like that just makes the plate look so unbalanced. It takes all of the harmony away. It's like they really thought they were on some avant-garde type beat. But as of now, unfortunately, Mr. Lithuania, you're just not that guy. I'm sorry, I don't see the vision. You're going in C. Luxembourg, I'm calling it timeout on you. Cause from a distance, normal plate, right? Well, if you look into it, the mechanics are some of the most convoluted BS you could ever think of. Okay, watch this. All the plates with the number below 4000 are reserved. This is for custom combinations, with allegedly a 5-year waiting list. For the quote-unquote normal controlled sequence, there is actually nothing normal about it. Just consider this, a series which beginning at 4000 goes incrementally, so +1 +1, to not 9999 but 4999. Then it switches up the first 2 letters, following this absolutely scandalous sequence, and rinse and repeat. Yeah, guys, forget what I said about the British license plate needing Alan Turing to decipher it. What the is this? And it's not like there's hidden secret info in the plate. They're just doing it for the love of the game. Yeah, you can't tell me the guys behind this aren't a little bit on the spectrum. Like, how can you out-German the Germans on the Autismus front? So, overall, a pretty over-engineered plate, but unnecessarily so. It's like, guys, it's not that deep. It's just a license plate. You don't need to use the Enigma machine table for this. So, I have to put you last. You really played yourselves on this one. Next up is Russia, and I gotta give it to them, the two-part plate layout is pretty unique and kind of practical in a way. Like France, each region has its number at the end, but unlike France, the Russian plates don't run the sequential series countrywide. Instead, each region runs its own sequence. And if you're saying to yourself, okay, that looks decently clean, well, behind the scenes, it's not. The classic event happened by the name of No More Combinations Available, and they just lost the plot ever since. They lazily began adding random numbers for the same regions, which made them not unique anymore. Like, come on, ref, that's cheating. That's the easy way out. So, initially pretty nice plate, but beginning to show its limits. It's a tough choice to make, but I'll still put it at the end of 8.5, yeah. But, yeah, Russia, you better behave, man. You're one ICBM strike on Ukraine away from being demoted, okay? Last but not least, Polska. And there's more that meets the eye in here. So the first letter refers to the region of registration, whereas the second and potential third letters pinpoint the exact county. It's followed by an anti-counterfeit sticker and, whoa, a legit Steam authenticator code. Like real two-factor authentication in this bit. No, but it's actually rare to have characters in a plate that can be both a letter and a number, interchangeably. In short, even if the plate lacks in color, I think it still has some pretty nice things to offer. So, I think, yeah, I will put it in 8.5. That's my final verdict. So yeah, that's it. My final touch would be to bring the yellow plates up a bit. I think I was a little too harsh on them. That looks way better. Yes. Yeah. Let's roll with that. So, in front of you, the final tier list from yours truly, Dr. John License Plate. Oh man, I'll keep it real with you guys, that took way longer than I expected. Like the research on every single plate, the sketchy websites, conflicting information, I don't know, rabbit holes, that was quite the journey. So yeah, if I made a mistake somewhere, feel free to point it out. And that's pretty much it, actually. Thank you for watching till the very end.